Hi everyone, welcome to session 5. We are having a look at situated learning environments and mobile learning today. So I'll just pull up my slides because I do have some available. I just wasn't as organised today before I pulled you guys up. All right, where am I looking? Slideshow from start. Thinking nice and hard, spinning wheel of death. All right, so here we go. Session 5 is situated learning environments and mobile learning. And our focus for today, we're looking at the technology. So how can I use location-based applications in a learning trail, and how ICT can be used to scaffold and document learning during a learning trail. The pedagogy we're having a look at is what is mobile learning, which is M-learning, and also what the benefits are of mobile learning. So that's what we're having a little bit of a look at today, or during this session. Hopefully you've done all your readings, because this is a topic that will require you to do a little bit of the reading, just to get a good understanding, because M-learning, whilst it's something that we probably do on a daily basis using our mobile phones for everything, it is something that's fairly new, I guess, in schools. So, what is mobile learning? It involves the use of a mobile or wireless device to enable learning anytime, anywhere. So this is that whole thought of being constantly connected. This is that. So the mobile aspect of mobile learning at the same time refers to the mobility of the technology, people's mobility of physical space, conceptual mobility between topics of interest, social mobility and how people connect with each other, and learning dispersed over time across a formal and informal context. Okay. So what's the difference between e-learning and m-learning? Basically, one is computer-based and the other one is more smartphone-based. Or you could probably say that it's a tablet base as well. So for your computer-based one, you're teaching more in depth, and you usually need to structure a longer, more broad session. Whereas for M-learning, you're looking at something that's a quick snippet of information and short bite-sized modules, as I've said here, so 3 to 20 minutes. So I think half of the computer-based learning in a primary school, at least, is trying to get the computer up and running, because the technology isn't always great, or maybe it's the users. So at least 30 minutes plus to get really involved in that. Now, the benefits of M-learning. So if you're having a look at our little module down here, you've got the use of time and space, which is in the center here, and that comes out to a few categories: authenticity, collaboration and personalization. And then that goes out even further. So when it comes to collaboration, the conversations that have been having, the data sharing. With personalization, you can customize things, the agency that's being used. And then the authenticity is the contextualization and the situatedness. I love these big tongue twister words. So in general, so you're overcoming traditional limitations of space and time, I suppose, to enhance your learning. So for example, you're learning across multiple domains, so both in an informal and a formal setting, personal and social contexts, a physical and digital context, and across multiple tasks, devices and pedagogical models. I guess with students in particular, it really increases their motivation and engagement if they've got a task that they can wander around the school and do using technology. It's amazing just how excited they get about technology and being able to use it. And it's amazing just how young it starts. So right from pre-primary and kindy, they're getting to use this technology. So the specific points in here, I'll build on them slightly. So your authenticity, so supporting the investigation of location-based, as you call it, phenomena or stuff, and then the completion of and reflection of tasks that are happening then and there. It's also a bit of improvising, I suppose, and finding things on the go. It's also facilitating facilitates pushing of just-in-time contextuality relevant information to students, as well as pulling of such information by students. It's a bit of a mouthful in that one, but it's basically just making sure that it's an authentic learning environment because you are getting them then and there, and they're being able to research something as you are, saying, okay, why is this tree the way it is? They can jump on their computer or tablet or whatever they've got and find out. Okay, so for example, we've just gone to Kings Park and done the Noongar Boodja learning trail, I guess, and we had a scavenger hunt. The way that I could have adapted that so that it wasn't just a paper and pen activity was to have some mobile devices where the information could have been online, that students could go and research. We had just a general scavenger hunt style trail, and they had to find the flags and they had to write down the information or research then and there with a I suppose just an information pamphlet or sheet that was where the flag was. We could have then changed that so that rather than them having the information then written down, they could have jumped online to find that instead. So, it's all about being flexible. But for my year fours, it didn't quite work this time. So maybe next time we'll have a go. Now, the other point here, the personalisation. So with regards to personalisation, you've got multiple entry points and learning paths when it comes to M-learning. So it's flexible because it's not too limited to any one place or time, unless the internet's down or something's not working. And it also involves learning using videos or podcasts and other popular, multimedia assets on your smartphone. Lots of apps and things. It also has the content is present in the mobile platform, and it's sort of generally more chunk size and concise. So if you jump on a computer and have a look at the same site, you might find that there's a lot more information, whereas on a mobile device, they usually try and chunk it down so that it's not, you might see the mobile version, and that's what they mean with that. So you'll also see, I mentioned this before, that it tends to increase participation amongst, or in recent studies, it's shown that it increases participation, and it also enables access to a wide range of multimodal resources and enables user-generated content. With the collaboration, so the last point over here, we're having a look at it providing a shared workspace where students can collect data, post reflections, provide feedback to one another, and negotiate meaning. An example of this, I suppose, of the collecting data and posting reflections for me is I've created a class website for my students, and there's a component there where they can blog. So for again, reflecting on the excursion that we had last week, I've gotten them to all, because we didn't have access to the computers this morning. I'll just grab someone's work, hang on. So because I didn't have access to the computers, students have been given a terrible laptop that I rushed to create. There you go. And they have used that to do their draft blog. And from there, because I don't want everyone blogging the same thing all the time, I've gone and selected, or I will be selecting, a couple of people to actually type up their blogs and post it onto our class website. Put that back. So that's just one example. So it also supports positive interdependence, so meaning that they are dependent on themselves and also the devices they're using, and of course their colleagues too. So they might be working in groups, and one person might be navigating while the other person is on the smartphone and actually giving the directions. And we're having a look here. It says facilitates higher levels of critical thinking in students. You have got a world of information at their fingertips by involving them in M-learning and e-learning. So we're no longer limited to the materials that we have in class. We've been doing some geography today in Year 4. Africa is the topic in geography in HASS. And I've got my old atlas here that I've got students, and they are doing a world geography scavenger hunt at the moment, and they no longer really need to do it in this format. We could quite easily give them a laptop and they would have a wealth of information at their fingertips. I will show you a program in just a minute that you can think about using in the classroom, and one that my students absolutely love playing with. So we'll talk about that in just a sec. Now, a learning trail is what we're having a look at today, and there's a video here that you can go in and have a look yourself. So what learning points do you take away with you after watching this video? And then would like you to post your response onto the class canvas. So I will create another class canvas for you, or another class canvas tab, and it'll just be called Session 5 Learning Trail, and you can click on that to post your response with a sticky note. So remember, with the class canvas, it's on the LMS, and you go into the class canvas tab, and then you will find Session 5 class canvas link, and that's where you will post your sticky note. So I'll leave you to look at that yourself. You might like to pause the recording here and then go and do your learning trail. Now, ways to use Google Maps in the classroom. Google Maps is exactly as it says. It's a whole bunch of maps that are available to everyone. I use it on a daily basis, I think, if I'm not very good with directions. So if I need to get to a new place, bam, there it is on my GPS in the car, so I know where on earth I'm going. So it's helping students to visualize and understand the world around them. You can create a map for your community, create your own event map, create a route, measure distance and area, have your trails. So you've got maths trails, biology trails, history trails. So that's where the students need to use their mapping skills and clues given to solve a puzzle. And that's what we're going to be doing this week for our task. I'll talk about that in a minute. And then you can have a look at longitude and latitude scavenger hunts. And then there's something called Earth Picker. So it looks at street views of a place, pick a location on a map, and find out if you're correct. So that's something that you can go and have a little bit of a look at yourself. Just having a look, creating your own event map. So there's a little video here, and it shows you how to do it in something called Map Engine. However, although Map Engine has been discontinued, I think. So you can do exactly the same thing as what they're showing you in that video. However, you use it in something called My Maps. It works exactly the same. Okay, so instead of using Maps Engine, you use My Maps, and it works in the same way. Just a quick point. So Google Maps. Now, if you are an internal student, you would have had the opportunity to do an amazing race. So it's the Murdoch Uni Amazing Race. However, because you're external, it's simply not going to work, and I'm not going to make you do it because it's pointless. But I will give you a quick look at a couple of options of what you could have done. So to use Google Maps, you turn on your location on your mobile device. You go to Google Maps, and most of you would have this app already on your phone. Drop down menu, location sharing, and then icons with names will appear, and then you scroll left and it should say share your location. I hope that screen hasn't completely cut it off for you. Now, the Murdoch Uni Amazing Race, if you have a look at the instructions here, which again, this is more so for internal students, but we'll just run through it quickly. So make your way to each of the 5 locations to find answers to the questions based on each location. Use Google Maps to plan your route. Record your responses on Google Forms immediately or on the hard copy of the worksheet. Take a photo when instructed to do so. Return to your workshop immediately after finding your answers to the questions or within half an hour if you have not found all the questions. So again, that was an internal task. I would like to show you though the Google form that they've used. Now you should have created your Google Drive account, and on Google Drive we have already had a look at how to create a wiki. Google Forms is also through Google Drive, and essentially it's creating a bit of a quiz style activity for students to do. Okay, so I'm going to get out of here now, and the video is about to stop anyway because they're usually 15 minutes. So I'm going to go and open up the Google Forms so you can have a little bit of a look at it. Again, you're not having to do anything with this, it's just for you to view it. So I'm stopping, and I'll open it in Google Forms.